Hey guys, welcome to lymecompass.net herbal blog, and today I have an educational video on Salvia Officinalis, or culinary sage, or otherwise known as garden sage. There are many different types of salvia, but today I'm specifically speaking about the Officinalis because it has the least amount of camphor. Other varieties are higher in camphor, and this one is readily available at garden stores. When you buy fresh sage in the grocery section, it's usually the Officinalis that you're getting. This is a perennial, and it gets cut back pretty hard in the winter, and then you'll see all this new spring growth here. Now my son Eben loves to come along with his little scissors and his basket, and he will cut the, I'm surprised he's not in this video, he'll cut these new green tips off, and we'll dry them or process them to make different things like vinegars or salad dressings. And it's always nice to have some fresh sage to put in soups, or meat, seasoning meat with sage is really nice. And I've heard of herbalists tincturing sage. It's not something that I think to tincture because it's so tasty. And so I have Lyme, and I take a lot of capsules and a lot of tinctures to maintain and function as best I can. And I don't want to take another capsule. Like, if I can include it as food, then I'm so happy to do it that way, because the load is already so much. So I specifically wanted to talk about this because I see it as a brain and central nervous system protector. It inhibits compounds that break down the acetylcholine, and acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that plays a really important role in brain health, memory function, in muscle activation, and central nervous system functioning. And how many of you have symptoms in those little things that I listed? You know, brain, muscles, nerves, memory. I think of paralysis, and perhaps that this can help. I've heard of studies with sage and Alzheimer's, which I think is really interesting. And those of you that have been studying and researching in the Lyme field for a while probably know of Dr. Alan McDonald's work. If you don't know who Dr. Alan McDonald is, as soon as you're done watching this video, research Dr. Alan McDonald. He is brilliant. Thank you, Dr. Alan McDonald, for your work in the world. And he has been trying to prove for a long time, with a lot of science-based evidence, that Alzheimer's is really a Borrelia infection in the brain. And he's got tons of documentation, lots of really interesting videos and talks that he has on his website. What else can I say about sage? So sage is drying. And so I think of using it when there's congestion, when there's, I use it for herbal steams, like I show in the rosemary video. We give an example of how to do a steam on that page. Sweating. Those of you that get night sweats, or even those of you that are sweating a lot in the day, this can help slow the perspiration. But perspiration, your body's trying to get something out, you know. So again, getting to the root of things, your body is trying to rid itself of something and work it out, and so sweating usually your body usually has a good reason to sweat. What else can I tell you? Oh, in realms of drying, those of us that have Lyme and are pregnant, treatment during pregnancy is sometimes something that's very emotional. You know, nobody wants to take a ton of medicine when they're pregnant, and nobody wants to have a sick child. And women and families are faced with the question of, do I breastfeed, do I not breastfeed? And that is a personal choice. There are studies that show spirochetes in breast milk, and there's a bunch of doctors that say to breastfeed as long as you're on antibiotics, and it gets really complicated and can get incredibly emotional. So I'll stop myself there. But if you choose to not breastfeed, sage tea can help you dry your breast milk. And what else can I tell you about sage? Digestion. It's really good for indigestion, for nausea, for colitis, diarrhea. Those of us that, mouth sores, you can make a strong tea and just put a tiny pinch of salt and swish to try to help heal mouth sores. It's a great sore throat gargle. It has lots of antibacterial qualities to it, and a lot of people will think of sage as a herbal antibiotic. And I feel like I just said a lot of things. So, it's so tasty and it's so beautiful, and the pollinators really like it, and it spreads easily. So easy to come by at garden centers, and it actually really likes to be ignored a little bit. You're a loner, aren't you, sage? But yeah, dry, poor soil it will thrive in. So it's so easy to have in your home garden. Thanks, guys.